She left me for him before learning I was a secret millionaire. Hey Reddit, my name's Jake. I'm a 29-year-old guy, and I honestly never thought I'd be writing one of these kinds of stories, but here we are. I've always been the quiet type. The kind that wears the same hoodie for 5 years and drives a car until it's making weird sounds and still calls it fine. For the past few years, I've been working in tech, software automation, AI systems, and a bit of consulting on the side. I don't talk about my work much because, to be honest, most people's eyes glaze over when I explain it. But I've been good at it. Really good. Quietly built a company with 2 college buddies, scaled it, got bought out, and reinvested what I made. I didn't blow it on cars or anything, just kept my lifestyle simple, rented a modest apartment, drove my old Camry, and dressed like a broke grad student. Why? Because I've seen what flashy money does to relationships. People start treating you different. Some want something. Others envy you. I didn't want to attract people for the wrong reasons. Which brings me to Lisa. Lisa and I dated for almost 3 years. She was gorgeous, smart, and had this vibrant energy that filled a room. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue, hit it off instantly, and from then on, we were inseparable. Or so I thought. She always used to say, "I love that you're so down to earth." And yeah, I was, but I also knew deep down that Lisa liked the finer things. Fancy restaurants, designer bags, vacations that looked like Instagram ads. I didn't mind it. I enjoyed spoiling her when I could, within reason, but I also had my boundaries. She never really knew how much I made. I kept that private, not out of secrecy, but because I didn't think it was necessary to flash my income for love. At the time, I thought she loved me, not what I had. Then things started to shift. She began comparing me to other guys who were louder about their success. You know the type, rented Lambos, bottle service, Instagram flexers. I'd get comments like, "You're so humble, but maybe you could dress a little nicer," or, "Don't you ever feel like you're missing out by not upgrading your car?" I brushed it off at first, but in the back of my mind, a small red flag went up. Then she started hanging out more with this guy named Connor. He was one of those flashy finance bros who lived for attention. Loud watch, louder personality, no real depth. He was always around at her work events, and I started getting that gut feeling, that tight knot in your chest that says something's off, even if you can't prove it yet. One night, she came home late, acting weirdly distant. Said she was confused and needed space to figure things out. And that's when it started unraveling. I gave her the space she asked for. I didn't push. I figured maybe she was just going through something, burnout, stress, whatever. But deep down, I knew. You don't just suddenly get distant in a solid 3-year relationship for no reason. About 2 weeks after that conversation, she came over to talk. We sat on opposite ends of the couch, and she had that look, eyes already sorry before the words even come out. And yeah, she told me what I was expecting. She said she'd been thinking a lot, and she didn't feel like we were on the same page anymore. That we had different energies and different goals. She said she needed someone who was driven in a different way. And I'll never forget the last part. She said, "You're a good guy, Jake, just not the right guy." And I sat there, nodding, not saying a word, because I already knew what this was. I knew about Connor. I hadn't confronted her because honestly, I wanted to see if she'd admit it. Spoiler, she didn't. She left me that day acting like it was all about her growth, but within a week she was full on public with him. Instagram stories, date nights, a soft launch post with their matching wine glasses. Subtle, but obvious. I'd be lying if I said it didn't sting. 3 years, thrown out like I was a warm-up round. And for what? A dude whose entire personality was his Rolex. But I didn't say anything. I didn't text her. Didn't block her. I just disappeared. Thing is, what Lisa didn't know, what nobody really knew, was that around the time she dumped me, I had just closed a massive licensing deal for my software. A recurring contract with a Fortune 500 company. That one deal alone was going to bring in over $2 million over the next 3 years. And I didn't post about it. Didn't brag. Just kept my same car, same clothes, same quiet lifestyle. But behind the scenes, I bought my dream condo, downtown, Riverview, top floor. Invested in a few startups, helped my parents retire early, and started mentoring some local dev students on the side. My life was quietly leveling up in every way. Meanwhile, Lisa was out there thinking she'd traded up. Oh, but she had no idea. Not yet. A few months passed. I was finally feeling like myself again. I'd thrown myself into work, spent time with people who genuinely cared about me, and started to really enjoy the peace that came from not having to constantly feel like I wasn't enough for someone. But then, as fate loves to do, the universe decided to stir the pot. One afternoon, I was at a tech networking event, nothing huge, just a local mixer. I'm chatting with a few founders when I spot Connor across the room. Yep. That Connor. And guess who's right next to him? Lisa. They were dressed up like they were trying to get featured on a fashion blog. And the moment Lisa saw me, she froze. Eyes widened like she'd just seen a ghost, and to her credit, I probably looked a little different. I had finally updated my wardrobe, had a bit more confidence, and wasn't exactly blending into the background anymore. She walked over eventually, alone. I stayed polite. She started with small talk, asking how I'd been, saying how different I looked, how great it was to see me. I nodded, smiled, and kept it vague. Then she hit me with, "So what are you up to now? Still doing that tech stuff?" I couldn't help but smile. I just said, "Yeah, a bit. Been keeping busy." That was it. I wasn't going to hand her a resume. Connor wandered over midway through, barely acknowledged me, but you could tell he was watching, sizing me up. Probably wondering why his girlfriend was talking to her ex with that look in her eyes. She asked for my number before she left. Said it would be nice to catch up sometime. I didn't give it. Instead, I went home and laughed. Because the very next week, a local business journal ran a feature on our company's recent expansion. It wasn't braggy, it just listed the acquisitions we were making, the funding we'd secured, and yeah, my name was in it. CEO. Founder. Tech consultant. Net worth listed in the mid-seven figures. That article got shared. A lot. And suddenly, my phone started buzzing again. You guessed it, Lisa texted me. Said she had no idea things had gone so well for me. That she was proud of me. That she always knew I'd do something big. Then she asked if I wanted to get coffee, just to talk, no pressure. I didn't respond. Because by then, I had already started seeing someone else. Someone who had no idea how much I made, but loved talking to me about books, ideas, and the future we could build together. And unlike Lisa, she didn't need me to prove I was driven. She could tell just by the way I lived. So, fast forward maybe 6 months after that business article went live. I hadn't spoken to Lisa since she texted asking to catch up, and I had zero plans to respond. I was happy. My business was thriving. I was dating an amazing woman, kind, grounded, hilarious. The kind of person who didn't care whether I wore a hoodie or a suit, who didn't need champagne dates or clout to feel loved. But the universe? Oh, it loves poetic timing. A mutual friend invited me to a wedding. I wasn't planning on going until I heard Lisa and Connor would be there, and let's just say I got curious. I wasn't going to show off, I swear. But I didn't mind being seen either. I rolled up with my girlfriend. She's a stunner, by the way, but more than that, she's effortlessly warm. The kind of person people instantly like. We walked in together, and it didn't take long before Lisa saw me. The look she gave me. It was pure confusion mixed with, yeah, regret. Like her brain was trying to catch up to how I went from humble coder to the guy laughing with the CEO of a major startup across the room. She came over at the bar, trying to act casual, but I could see right through it. She asked, "So, you're doing well, huh?" I just said, "Yeah. Things worked out." Then she leaned in a bit too close and said, "I kid you not, you know, I always felt like we had something real, back then. Maybe we just had bad timing." I actually laughed. Not out of rudeness, just pure disbelief. I looked at her and said, "Lisa, you didn't want real. You wanted shiny. And now you've got it." She looked confused. So I nodded toward Connor, who, as it turns out, had recently been fired from his job after his trading firm downsized, was reportedly in debt, and had been complaining all over social media about gold diggers and fake friends. Oh yeah. The irony. I finished my drink and added, but hey, maybe now you two are finally on the same page. Then I walked away. Hand in hand with my girlfriend. No drama. No raised voices. Just a clean, elegant mic drop. Later that night, Lisa messaged me again, some long paragraph about wishing things were different and how she didn't realize what she had until it was gone. I didn't respond. Because I realized something. The best revenge isn't about screaming, "I told you so." It's living a life so good, so unbothered, that the people who doubted you have to watch from the sidelines, knowing they'll never get that second chance. And for Lisa, that silence was louder than anything I could have said.